is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Man, this height thing is crazy, man. This height thing is crazy. Yeah, let me change this around a little bit. Damn. Look, I'm going to tell you what, man. Over the past few weeks, I've been getting a lot of stuff, either clips or something about that dude who went to Turkey and got his legs lengthened and all of that, went from 5'5" to 6 feet. Either getting that or somebody hit me up just asking some general questions and they feel the need to put their height into it. And I'm just like, damn, I thought I did enough videos saying, hey, look, whatever your height is, it is. And enough videos saying I've lost track of how many dudes are under 5'8" getting pussy. Having happy lives, serious players. I mean, damn. And how many times I said, shit, in this country anyway, the average height is 5'9". I don't know what it is in the world, but, you know. But it was just, I don't know, man, this height thing. Now, before I go further about it, let me just say, it wasn't something I ever thought about on a personal basis. Because in my height, my height, since your height goes up and down during the day, goes from like 5'11.1, that one little millimeter or something, to 5'10.75, right, through the day. It's still taller than average and everything, but never thought about it. And that's barefoot. That's barefoot. Several people, when I got on my shoes, think I'm 6 feet. Shoot, in fact, I had a 5'10" woman who could stand next to me, hug up and all of that. Thought I was 6'2". I was like, okay. But it's crazy. And I know some guys that say, oh yeah, even with that, the funniest thing that I get whenever I've done any public events, whether it was the Game King seminar or the self-improvement summits, there's invariably always at least one person say, you taller than I thought you were. Or when people meet me in public, you taller than I thought you were. Okay. It's like, but I'm saying that's from it's nothing I ever thought about personally. Because out of all the women I've gotten with, all the women I've been rejected by, not a single one said a thing about height. Not a single one. So, from my perspective, it's something I never thought about. So, I got to be fair to some guys who might have heard it. And there's been plenty of guys who've heard it and everything. But I would say this. Everybody get rejected for something. Everybody get rejected for something. I've had some women tell me, oh, I can't mess with you. You got too much weight on you. And then I've had some other women say, well, you got to put on about 40, 50 pounds. I'm like, okay. Look, first of all, let me talk about that rejection thing real quick. If a woman don't want you, she gonna find something. I don't give a fuck. You can be Mr. Perfect. Hey, hell, some guys who might be considered consensusly physically perfect, got the perfect height, jawline, hair, every little thing that someone would consider perfect, body fat percentage. There's still a woman that'll probably say, oh, you too perfect. I mean, look, that's just it. But in all fairness about that height thing, I mean, I can't speak for guys who might have been caught some hell because of their stature. Yeah, I can point out the guys who didn't give a fuck. I always tell a story about that guy I worked with one time, Caveman. Dude was 5'5", but he didn't care. The women gave him the name Caveman because of how he got at the women and how confident he was. They gave him the name. And I've known several other guys who would be considered short-statured getting it to this minute. Seriously, to this minute. But I can't speak how they got over. Well, I can say this. They were just confident. They just played the hand they were dealt. But then you get some other guys and they catch some hell over it or something. Or you get some mean women out here and say something. I would just say this. Man, if a woman say something and she gonna be mean like that, point out to her, and like say this to her. If a woman ever do that to you, and this for some of the younger guys, all you have to do is call her ugly. That'll fuck her head up for life. If she gonna be mean that way, you be mean too. Fuck the bullshit. Too many guys who try to be nice and gentlemanly, but if somebody gonna disrespect you, if they just say no, let them, if they say no, just ain't interested, okay, that's fair, don't push it. But if they gotta add some extra shit, just be like, honey, you're not all that anyway, I just wanted my dick sucked. I think that's why some women don't fuck with me like that. they never come, because some women even told me, say, bro, if you get that pressure, you can be harsh as hell. Oh yeah. don't let me being cool and calm fool you. Don't let me this shit. Speaking of cool and calm, I was walking in the gym this morning. This dude said, damn, Ron, what's up? Because I was in murder walk mode, Denzel training day mode. I was headed over to the weight pile. Oh man. In fact, it's a funny thing. People who've met me in public or talk to me say, Ron, you look like a killer. Yeah. It keeps people off of me. But anyway, getting back to the height thing, man, in all seriousness, man, it's crazy. Because honestly, if a guy is going to change his height, like go through some excruciating surgery to change his height, one, that's crazy. Two, I wouldn't give a fuck. And I think I had read, like, that guy who went to Turkey, y'all correct me about that. I think because I'm doing it now and I ain't checked beforehand, but I think I saw something about him actually having children, which means at least one woman, or how many kids, how many baby mamas he got, thought enough of him to take his seed. But apparently some woman rejected him when he was young because he was short. But I'm like, well, shit, we all get rejected. Shit. Yeah. Back in the 80s when, there was some serious colorism from women, there were couples say, hey, he all right, except if he would be great if he wasn't so dark. I ain't go run out and get some bleaching cream. I was just like, okay, ain't my skin better than this now? Oh, man. But here's the thing, though. I had the right perspective about it. You just deal with the hand that you dealt. But I can say that till I'm blue in the face. Like I said, in all fairness, I was always one of the taller kids because my height's above average. But didn't think about it. And even when I'm around guys who are taller than me, didn't think about it. I always hung out with, like, when I was at my two colleges, two universities and stuff, for undergrad and graduate, I hung out with whatchamacallits, the D1 ball players. Definitely went taller than them. And didn't give a fuck. Well, not some of them were my same height. Some of them were shorter than me. But whatever the case, it wasn't a big deal. And I think, of course, some guys will talk about, like, well, on these dating apps, they say they want this, this, and this. Oh, women also say they want a guy who makes $500,000 a year. What's the likelihood of them actually getting it? Women say a lot. Don't get too caught up in what they say publicly any damn way. Because here's something with women, too. Here's something with women, especially with that height thing. You'll get a bunch of women who will say, you'll get a whole group of women. You can get 100 women. They'll say, yeah, I want that guy 6'2", right? They want that guy 6'2". But then, when you, like, start digging and find out who their baby daddies are or husbands or whatever, those dudes be like 5'9" and chubby. Or who somebody dogged them out and everything. Because women are talking about some ideal, but then what they actually do is two different things. So one, I wouldn't get caught up in that. And then don't get too caught up in it. Because women say a lot of stuff publicly and then do some privately. Like all the stuff I talk about, body game and everything, I base that more on what I know what women do privately. Because they'll look for that guy who looks good in the public and everything and look good in other ladies' eyes. but whose dick they sucking to be totally different. So first of all, man shouldn't worry about that. And then I'm gonna be real with you. Everybody, you got a bunch of guys thinking they want to be 6 feet and everything. I've lost track of how many men I've known to this day who are actually 6 feet, over 6 feet, and having trouble. I've lost track. You know? So apparently, you know, some guys thinking, well, it's just height. Okay then. Well, all these guys, every single man who's over 6 feet, should be automatically select. And we know that ain't the case. I want y'all to think about that seriously. There's a bunch of guys over there be like, shoot, it still ain't a problem. It's still a problem. Seriously, lost track. Like, you meet them at seminars, met them at retreats, and you be like, you having trouble? Still having issues. Because I'm going to tell you what, as much as I talk body game, and even with body game, and yeah, I say, yeah, if you get muscles and stuff, yeah, guys who are muscular, they pretty much get a lot, but then you got guys who aren't as muscular. And, you know, of course, you get some women who like muscular men, but you get some women ain't as pressed. Whatever I always say, no matter what, just get your best form and then see who likes it, right? But even then, I've said several times, that's just the base. I've said several times, the body game is more than just, you know, the actual aesthetics. You know, yeah, it's strength, but it's also discipline to stay in the gym. You know, it gives you the strength to have the vitality to be a man and to do stuff. So you get a lot of this shit, right? You get a lot of it, right? Out of it. But then ultimately, it's about mindset. See, the ultimate thing with body game is to get you to the point as a man where you're comfortable with your own form. That's why I always had that joke about a big man saying, Rom, I ain't doing all that lifting, man, and you know you want this real. Like, big man game, I've seen some guys, they big men. He having about several children, several baby mamas getting theirs. They shit, go to that barbecue, be throwing it down. It'll be like that old school player and stuff. Uncle Scooter. Y'all know about Uncle Scooter. He got a little bit of gut on him. Bama still wearing a Jerry curl. And she got all the women there enraptured. Shit. Talk about his 17 kids and shit. But he got the mindset. And see, that's one problem I would just say. It's not even so, and I've seen this with like the big man game, slim man game, short-statured man game. The one thing they all have in common is they just got the mindset. Now, some dudes I'm going to just be real with you. Now, I understand if a guy, you know, might have had some stuff and he, you know, he gets some changes, but the key is, does it change his mindset? That's the key thing. Does it change his mindset? Because a very important book that I had, some people have, now I can't remember the author's name right now, but Psycho-Cybernetics. I'll put a link for it in the description box. And I hadn't looked at it in a while, but that dude's a plastic surgeon, and what he said, what he was finding, even when you changed someone physically, they still had the same mindset. Because that's the key. Because even if somebody get like leg lengthening surgery or facelift or whatever, I don't know, whatever they get, if their mindset doesn't change, they're gonna be in the same amount of problems. Like I use the example of that young man who put his height up to 6 feet, and he said, okay, yeah, more women are paying attention to him. Okay, his bait is better. They still gonna talk to him. They still need to click with him. So what happens when that shit don't matter once you get over there? You know, you still gotta have a mindset. Now I would say this: only way I would get any type of surgery for anything, it would have to be life saving. Now, of course, somebody say, "Well, Rom, you said above average in height and everything." Yeah, okay. So yeah, I can understand that. But see, you doing all that stuff, and then I read some stuff. You can still have some problems, and I'm like, all that. Now, yeah, I talk about man gets woman on here, but there's plenty of women, despite what some crazy women are saying, they good with you where you are. Just be your best. And okay, about to see another accident. Yeah, just be your best, because that's all you can be. That's all you can be. Shit. Because I know for myself, like I said, I've never had not one woman say anything about height. Not one person either. Not one person. So it's like I never had that mindset. I was always the big guy. In fact, I've had some guys short of stature call me a giant. I'm like, gentle giant. I'm like, okay. It's like, whatever. Whatever. But that's my mindset. But then, and I do, it's kind of jacked up all around that we are in a society that tries to think anybody is something wrong if they not perfect. See, that's something else that got to be killed. Not a single one of y'all is perfect. Not a single one of them. Not you can't show me anybody try to say, well, objectively they're perfect. No, first of all, for the man looking at another man and saying that, first of all, he really need to come out the closet. Yeah, I said it like that. He need to wonder. Everybody got something. Everybody. In fact, there's no what decides what's perfect. You need to worry about being your best, your DNA. As long as your ass is healthy. If you healthy, don't have any major diseases or something, knock on wood, okay? Hey, that's the best you can do. Just try to stay your healthiest, both mentally and physically. But don't worry about it, because first of all, even with that thing about beauty standards, even male beauty standards, man, that shit changes constantly any damn way. 10 years ago, beard game wasn't a thing. 10 years ago, I want y'all to think about that. 10 years ago, beard game wasn't a thing. Shit. Now that's the thing. That's the thing now. And shit, 10 years from now, it might be, okay, everybody got to be clean shaven again. If you look at men's body builds, that changes every, 10 years, what's ideal. Shit, there was a time you had to be that brolic dude. Then there was a time they were like, the days were like, oh yeah, you gotta be that lean dude. It changes. And even then, women like different shit anyway. So you just figure out, that's why I always emphasize tribe. And really don't even pay attention to what some media thing says. I talked about that, I've talked about it here, Media Images. I talked about it a whole lot more on my Deep Thought channel. You just be your best. Somebody like that shit. Regardless. Like, I remember in the first Black Panther movie, with that character played by Winston Duke, M'Baku. Man, I met women in the real world say they'd fuck him. That dude, you could say, yeah, he was tall, but he wasn't no cut dude. That was a big old dude. Women were like going ready to fuck his ass. They were straight up. I remember I saw a meme coming around. Woman was joking and shit. He said, yeah, he looked like that type of dude you had about 5 kids with. Stay pregnant with, because you always, the woman said, yeah, your woman always be backing that shit up. And I've seen shit, I've known guys like that in the real world. And then I've actually, as much as I promote body game, I've known some dudes who were totally cut, totally muscular, having some trouble. you know. But it always came down to their mindset. That's what ultimately everything comes down to, you know. That's what everything come down to. Even those dudes who were real muscular, the women were checking them out, but they were having trouble because their mindset wasn't right. Some people, some more psychologists call it body dysmorphia. They never thought they were perfect. And women were like, well, damn, let me just walk away. Seriously, because really, I'm going to tell you what, though. As much as I talk body game, like I said, the purpose is really get you to the point where you're comfortable with your own body. It's there, everything come down to the mind. That's the main thing about my Deep Thought channel. It's about your mind. What's your mindset like, man? You know? What are you thinking up here? Seriously. You know? You can change it. Because even with body game, you can hit the gym, work out. You know, you can get all cut or big and brolic, whatever you want to get. But if your mind don't change, it's a waste of energy. Seriously. Because I tell you, that's always been my secret. I told you. My weight has gone since, as an adult, my weight has gone from like different stages from 190 to all the way up to 270. And each and every period, I still got my dick sucked. In fact, when a few years ago, when I got my heaviest in my 50s, this woman who told me that she had actually looked me in the eye and said she don't suck dick. And we got together. I was at my heaviest, man. She told me to lay down, man. You know, she sucked the fuck out of that shit. But what was the thing? What was it? It was up here, man. You know? It was up here. So it's just like, ultimately, it's all about your mindset. Ultimately, it's about your self-esteem, accepting who you are. And yeah, somebody else is going to come for you. Somebody is always going to find something. Okay, let them go on. 4 billion women in the world. Don't worry about it. And then you're going to always get somebody try to come at you. You know, either A, ignore them, or B, light them up. You know, light them up. Look at them and say, well, dude, if I start roasting you, that's actually one of the reasons I try to avoid roasting anybody, because I'm not the type of be smiling and shit. I'm going for the jugular. I'm going for the headshot. I want them on the suicide watch list, because Uncle Rom can get vicious when I'm not in a good mood. Seriously, because none of us are perfect. But you got to get comfortable with yourself ultimately, and you got to have a mindset, you know. And about to end this, let me get back around to that thing about the height obsession. Don't worry about it. More men talk about that shit than women. Because as far as height, women in general, notice I said in general, prefer a man taller than them. But I lost count of how many women I've met who they'll meet some guy who was actually maybe an inch or so shorter than them, and they lost their damn mind. They lost their damn mind. So what did the guy do? He was just himself. You know, he just had that right mindset. They were like caveman. I should reach out to caveman and say, yo, man, you know, I've been telling people about you. Yeah. He said, probably reach out to him and say, yeah, I'll get back with you. He'll say, yo, what were you doing, man? Yo, man, I just got up a threesome, man. What you need? Oh, man. But that's it. In fact, I should reach out to him, because that motherfucker just didn't give a fuck. He had the best mindset. That motherfucker was 5'5", 130. 5'5", 130. He ain't give a fuck. So ultimately, I don't care what your height is, what your body fat percentage is, I don't know what your race is, whatever. Whether you got hair or not, no hair, whatever the fuck. Shit, even how big your joint is. It still come down to your mindset, man. Don't get caught up. That's stupid getting caught up in that physicality and everything too much. It's important, but at the end of the day, it's the vehicle. Your mind has to drive it. If your mind ain't right, well, it don't mean anything. Like I said, I've known some dudes totally muscular and shit. They were still having trouble. Not because the women, I would talk to the women. The women be like, damn, he fine as hell, but he up here. up here. You know? Actually, I've met a lot of dudes like that. Women be checking them out. You around them. It's like, damn, man. You got all these women checking them out. They ain't looking at me. They looking at you. And the dude like, women don't like me. You're like, yeah, damn, dude. You fine as hell. No wonder you pushing around 2 kids. The husband had fun getting that. But seriously, it's just the mindset, man. It's just the mindset. You know? Ultimately, don't obsess over it. Don't be like, everybody on this number shit. But it's up here, man. Fuck it. You are who you are. And the way you are built is ideal for you and your genetics. You know? Honor that and shit. Be comfortable with it. Okay? So, anyway. Y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good weekend and everything. And I'll get back with you, man. But get your mind right, man. For real. Seriously. If y'all... Look, I was going to let it go, but let me just say this. If nothing else, get your mind right. And that's not just to get women either. Just for life, okay? Seriously. Just get your mind right. Whatever you got to do, get your mind right. Feel good about yourself. Love the man in the mirror. For the ladies watching, same fucking thing. Too many people caught up in some bullshit. You know? Like I said, I've gotten through life and shit, my physicality, weight has gone up and down. Shit, getting older. Hell, hair ain't growing out. Well, it could if I let it grow out. I still got something left. I don't have to like totally shave it, but when I do, I do. The thing that stays the same, mindset. You know? Mindset. Because I love myself. You know? If somebody else don't love me, I don't really give a fuck. My main relationship is with myself. Everybody got to have that same attitude. Get your mind right, all right? So, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.